Hello and welcome back to City Bus Manager, and here we are once again with our company Steve & Co, operating in the fantastic city of Exeter in Devon in the UK, and the surrounding countryside now I suppose I should say as well. We've started getting routes leaving the city. Anyway, in this episode we have an exciting development coming on later, and I'll tell you more about that later. But let me say, this comment I got from a viewer was really good, and I think it might change up how we do our scheduling and stuff, make a big difference in making things more efficient. Anyway, as it's the weekend at the moment, I have been going through assigning buses sort of manually as they come and go, and I don't actually have that many more buses left that I can assign to, so I'll give him a route and stuff, and I think I need to wait because I think the rest of these are all assigned onto routes already. During the episode, I have been cleaning up, getting all the buses, getting them ready for this episode, and I've also gone off and I've brought a few more buses. We've got a few more of the Trident 2s and a few more of the B9 TLs. So we have another one over here. If we zoom in and have a quick looky, this is what we got in the last episode. This is the B9 TL, and I do still struggle with saying that. It still reminds me of a BLT, which is delicious. I'm sure this bus is not that tasty, but I bought a few more of these two buses because I got the request to have a look and give my opinions on these, and I vaguely commented on the aesthetics of them last time. And what I will say in this one is, while I think they are nice looking models, like they've cartoonized up very nicely into these buses. Like, they obviously don't look exactly like this in real life, but they look close and you can tell what they are meant to be. Like the Trident 2 is like a Dennis Trident and this is like a Gemini over here, and I have talked about it, but I'm going to give a little bit more of my opinion now on the appearance. And the reason why I didn't unlock them before, I mean, one is randomize what comes up, but the reason why I didn't carry on pursuing to get these unlocked, they're not necessarily my favourite looking buses. I think proportionally they're not quite as pleasing as some of the other ones. So I'd go, they are a bit short, a bit narrow, and they're quite tall, so they look a bit top heavy. Like I can imagine they would be falling over all over the place. If you look at the Omni City next to it, it's a bit longer, it's a bit wider, it's a bit lower, and I think that's proportionally a more pleasing shape to look at than this one. It's also, if you put a single decker next to it, it's like we've got the LFS next to it. I'll do it with the mouse, not with my finger on the screen. I would imagine that it should be sort of a similar length, because a double decker is just one of these with a hat put on it, well, with a top deck put on it. So it's not the biggest difference. I'm going to assign this bus quickly while we're waiting. So yeah, and then the other trouble is that the capacity difference is not very much. Like if we look at one of these, well, look at the it's in here, isn't it? So if we look at the capacity of the buses, like the B9 is 103, the Trident's 100, but if you look at the Intercity LE, that's 94. Like it's almost a negligible difference between these two. Like having 6 extra passengers, yes, I can sit 11 more of them down, but it's not a big difference considering it's basically got the whole space again in the top deck. This one's got a few more, it's got 9 more seats, but it's only got another 12 more places for you to park your bum before you're standing up. It's not that big a difference. So there's a couple of reasons why I've not been using them up until now, along with the reason of obviously I don't want to sort of complicate the garage. Like in real life you wouldn't want too many different types of buses, otherwise in your store you would need to have parts for your Omni City, you need to have parts for your BLT, you need to have parts for your Trident 2s and the rest of it. But now that they've actually all started getting routes assigned, well, now that they're, doesn't make any difference in this game because they all just use the same bits and pieces. So there we go, that's what I did in the last episode. There's a bit more. Anyway, as I say, we've got more of them now because I am going to start assigning them to a route so we can actually see how they do. And what I'm thinking is they are both going to be sort of inner city routes, so the Gemini or the B90 is slightly larger, so I'm going to put that on the A's. because the A's are always a very busy route. Like, these are always pretty full. So I'm going to put on the B9TLs onto there, and then the H. Well, that's always a fairly busy route down here. So we're going to give this one the Trident 2s to be a little bit bigger and sort of help out along there. Do we have anywhere for these two buses to go? Oh, we've got a few that are just coming up here, so we'll just assign these quickly. Happy days. Oh, it's getting a bit congested over here. Anyway, what I'll do now is I'll pop up on the screen a comment from a viewer who gave me this great way of organising buses. What it basically says is if I sort out the number plates on all my buses. So I had to rename all the plates with like a digit assigned for a route, and then rename the driver's prefix, or rename the drivers with said route. And then when I come in and do the schedule, I can go through and I will know that so and so number will assign this driver to that bus, and then they will have a particular route. So I will say I want to have the B9TLs on my A route. So if I come through, what I'm going to do is I'm going to number the buses. So if I look at the A route and I open it up, edit timetable, it'll tell me how many buses that I have on the route. I believe it's 6 because I think it's an hour circuit or just under, and it's obviously on the 10-minute driving interval at the moment. So it's taking a while for it to load. Okay, yeah, there we are. It requires the 6 buses. I should maybe probably make it run a little bit longer. Yeah, well, why not? We'll advanced settings. We'll go for one. Right, no, we'll leave that. We'll leave that for now. We'll sort this out. This is future problems. We are just trying to sort out our schedule. So I now know I need to have 6 buses. So if I scroll back into here and I find the B9TLs, I click on here and I rename this bus A.01. So this is the first bus on the A route. Tick that, and now its number plate is A01. And I'll come through and I'll find it another one, and you'll be A02, obviously. So A.02, and we'll come through and we'll find another one. It's here. This will be A03. So A.03. Find the next one. It's not on this page, so we keep scrolling. Not on this. Oh, there he is, hiding down there. A04. A.04. Do we have one here? There it is. Let's see if you can guess what this is going to be. I bet you can't. It's going to be a crazy one. Yeah, you're right. It's A05, isn't it? And you can go get some fuel while you're at it. And then do we have another one here? There we go. No, that's already been assigned. It's not. Trident 2. No, we're after B9. Do we have one more in here? There we are. So you can be A.06. So far that all makes sense, I hope. So if I then come off here and I come back on, look, there we go. A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A6, all listed down here. Very convenient. Okay, now we need to go get the drivers ready for these buses. So if we come into the bus drivers section of our stuff, we don't need to get new ones, so we just need to look at these. So we've got Silvert Hamilton, and we will rename him. So at the front of his name, we'll put in brackets A.01. We'll have to delete his Silvert, so it's just going to be known as Hamilton. We go to A01 Hamilton. He will obviously be the A01 bus. And we'll do Eleanor Prell, rename her A.02. And she will just be A02 Prell as Eleanor, and that won't fit in. Tick. Then we'll have Marius Mathis. Let's be honest, it's not going to fit, is it? So we'll just go A.03 and the green tick. Hestia Shell. Can we get A04? Oh, that fits enough, we'll leave it at that. And then Kana Booth, we will give you A.05. Happy days, there we go. Then go to the other page, and Gilbertine Field, you are A06. A.0. Oh, Gilbertine, your first name is gone. You are just a number and your surname now. Okay, so that's got all those 6 drivers. So we're now going to come look at our schedule. We'll do this on a Tuesday because we've got stuff already assigned for the Monday. So we'll do Tuesday. We'll scroll through here and we'll find the first A bus and assign that to the A1 bus. And then, come on, using the drop down menu, you'll get there eventually, A1 Hamilton, you will drive that bus at 4:45 in the morning. And you will scroll through, find the next A, which was you. So 4:55, you will go out, and we will have Farrell driving you A02. And you will scroll through again, find the next A, which is that one. So I just got a message. I thought, well, that was a big ding ding, was. So anyway, we scroll through. We'll pause it while we're doing this, because those will just start all backing up. And A03 Mathers will take you, and then we'll come through again. 5:15 over here, and then you can take that by Hester Shell. Other side, we need 25. You'll go on that one. And while we're at it, you can just jump onto there. That all makes sense, I'm hoping. Nice and easy. Now the plan is, I can then either, so what he was saying in comments was have each of our drivers with an AM and a PM, or each of buses. So you then have, like, you could have had an A01A for the AM and then an A01P for the PM shift. Now, what I was hoping was I might be able to stack a few routes, have a second route, and get more out of my drivers. So I'm going to have a look what time are my last buses going out. So we've got a few late ones, but not really that many. They jump to 4:40, and that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to think about this, and I'm going to keep assigning every bus, and I'll let you know how I work it out. So we'll look for our next route now, which is the UC. So we'll edit timetable, see how many buses we need. I think this is every 2 buses because it's a 29-minute cycle or something. There we go, it's 2 buses. What I am going to do is I'm actually going to change this to every 10 minutes at rush hour. This way, because I believe it's a 29-minute loop or 24-minute loop or something, it'll make it, I need 3 buses at rush hour, 2 for the rest of the time. There we go. So I've got 1 rush hour bus. This will I will show you how I want to implement the rush hour buses. So I will confirm that, and then we will come back into the buses. Now this I want to use our intercity LEs for. So I'll rename, where is it? U.C.01. You could have probably guessed that, it's fairly straightforward. And then you will go U.C.02, and you'll be U.C.03. Hopefully that all makes sense. You've seen me do it once before. Driver wise, we will come back into drivers, and then we will start renaming them. So Gardy Himmel, U.C.01. There we go. Dick. Robert Lynch. 02. So you should be Lynch. Dick. And then Bardi Owens. u.c.03. So far so good, same as last time. So we'll now come in and I will look for these buses. So we go back to Tuesday and I will, interesting that A didn't stick on there. We'll give that another go. Neaten that up, you go on there, A03 masses, cool. And I'll keep scrolling through. It's probably at the back, isn't it? So we come to the back of our pack and we have our university buses. So I now need to scroll through this. So we'll go back to 1. Same process. We scroll through looking for UC, the first UC that pops up. It's probably quite a long way through because we haven't got early ones going out. Because after all, students don't need early morning starts. So you go into that one because you're the first one. And UC01. There we go. UC01. Simple. And then UC02. And then final one onto here. So you are UC03. Okay, as you would have noticed, this last one, the UC03, he's only got 2 hours driving on this bus. So hopefully his stress levels weren't have peaked too high in this time, and he needs to do more work than just 2 hours during the day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll through and see if I can find the next university bus, which will be in here somewhere. Have we gone past it? We quite possibly have. There must have been a UC by then. So it's an early morning one. There we go. So at 13:25, you will take that one up. So he basically now has 4 hours off between starting this bus and finishing it. Well, from finishing this one to starting this one. So he finishes at 9:20. 4 hours later, he will start this one. So I can put Bardi Owens, UC03, back driving this bus. Then on UC01, because he's the first one to finish, there's at 4 o'clock-ish, there should be another UC in here somewhere. Where are you? Yoo-hoo! Interesting. I'm going to give him this one. So he'll then take an afternoon bus. And then we need another, then this one, the last university bus, I will pop on another one. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to look back in here, and we have this bus. I'm going to take this one, and he will just be renamed UC04, C.04, and he picks up that bonus route. And then staff, again we look at the drivers, come through, and Gladys Sloan will become UC.04. Easy peasy. Then back in our schedule through to Tuesday. Come on. And we will just scroll across. And then UC04 on page 23. There we go. Drop it on there. And we have Gladys Sloan for that. Actually, 25, 20. Yeah. I was just double checking that this was like the longer one, and it makes very little difference, but there we go. So here we go. The idea is that this guy will have all morning to de-stress, go out to 7, drive for 2 hours, get a bit of stress, de-stress for 4 hours, do a longer shift, finish, and then de-stress in the morning. While over here, he'll do a longer shift, 4 hours off, shorter shift, back round, de-stress overnight. So hopefully we won't have people getting too much on all of this, and they can just make it through the day and not keep chucking their shifts out. Anyway, what I'll do now is I'll go through and just do the rest. You've seen how I've done it twice. You don't need to see me doing it again. That will probably all make perfect sense for you. So I'll join you when that is all done. Okay, so that should now be our schedule sorted. It's taken us quite a few hours to get it sorted, so I'm hoping this works more successfully than the ones we've used in the past. So if I look at our schedule for Tuesday, because this is the day that we've obviously been working on, we have all of our buses now. And this has actually worked really well as a way of organising our buses by changing the number plates. So all the A's are all now bunched together. And that's where I was before, I suppose. So we need to go back to page 1. Oh, too far. So we've got all our A's here, and then the rest of the A's here. So we needed 6 A's to run, well, because there's 6 buses on the A's at any one time. So I assigned all the A's first thing in the morning, going across on the 6 buses. And that's has them all out in the morning. But because it is just a 10-minute circle all through the day and the evening, there's no rush hour. It's not like there's any rush hour buses, so it's all like these long periods of like a 10-hour and 10-minute drive. So in the afternoon, this bus comes back in at 2:55, and then I have it going back out at 3:25. Obviously, if I have the same driver doing this and then coming straight onto this shift, that's a very, very long day for them. So I've got a second driver on the afternoon shift, so very poorly, I have assigned the prefix of A01A. So they are the second driver to go on this bus. So all the A01s will go on bus A01. So I can get 4 afternoon shifts onto here. So these have all doubled up with new drivers on the afternoon, which then just left me with 2 other buses for the afternoon, which wouldn't fit on here. That their start times they clash too much with the other ones. So I've got 2 more buses here. So Alpha 7 and Alpha 8 with new drivers, Jackie and Thaxter on these 2. So that's got those all covered. So this is what I've been doing going the whole way through. Like I had all 6 buses initially assigned, and then I looked at what was left over and what I could assign in the afternoons. I did, and then I just assigned some more drivers. I went in, I renamed them and added in which bus they're going on. So A01A, A02A, A03A, and so forth and so forth. These 2, they obviously couldn't go out. I named Alpha 7 and Alpha 8 because they are the 7th and the 8th bus on the route, and I just had a new driver with A7 and A8 on there, which is easy. So if we move across, we then get the BCAR. They are all assigned across here, similar fashion. And this one here has got a nice early finish. So he then has 4 hours off until this next one over here. And this is only a 1-hour shift. So I thought 1 hour we could add 1 hour onto someone, and because he's got the 4-hour gap between them, hopefully he has plenty of time to go get a snack, go to the loo, de-stress, and then he can go out, and then he will have plenty of time until 1:55 the following day to go back out and do that route again. Simple, so that's that lot sorted. And this is what I've done going the whole way through. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to scroll through to the H's, or the pens. I might go to the pens. So what I'm going to say is, going through here, I put the Trident 2s on the H's because they're slightly bigger, and it's nice to have a bigger service on there. I shall show you with the H's because they are right here. So the H's require 3 buses. It's just under half an hour for a loop, and they're a 15-minute normal cycle, and then
10 minutes at rush hour. So this bus has the morning rush hour of 6:05 to 10:55, so a nice short, basically 4-hour shift. So I've then put a late afternoon shift on this one, same driver. So that's got one of the afternoon routes sorted. And then on this here, the first bus out in the morning, to feed the first one back in, I gave him the afternoon rush hour bus, so that does 6:05 until 7:55. So hopefully Fiona Becker will do that, and it's got enough time to de-stress between these shifts to do this short one, to then go overnight to rest and come back up here, and it won't kick off and send both people over here. Unfortunately, the last sort of evening one won't fit onto this middle bus, so I have assigned it to H4 and popped it on here with another driver. So this will be covering the other shifts. And this is basically what I've done going the whole way through. Some of these routes, so if we look back for, we'll go to the top options, because the top options I think is the biggest route that I have. So looking for top, so here we are. So the top options we go through, and we have 2 buses on rush hour, and then the rest, then the 7, and then we've got 8, 9 and 10 assigned, basically the same as before, to cover the routes that can't be covered by the other ones, and so on and so forth. So that's basically what I have been doing. It has taken quite a while to assign everyone. Then if I scroll all the way through to the back, what I have done, which I think is quite clever, is that I have relisted every single one of my unassigned buses with the first letter Z. So all the buses that I'm not using are now at the back. So I can see all of these buses which I am not using and know that I have these to spare. So if I look at this, I know I have 1, 2, 3, 4 Omni Cities, 5 Omni Cities, 6 Omni Cities. So I can have a whole route of Omni Cities. I have 6 of them ready to go. Got some DLO5, a new route master. So lots of stuff that I can use. I have had to buy a whole bunch of buses as I've gone along, because I ran out of the intercity LEs. So I've been buying a whole bunch of new ones of these, which is why I've sort of spent a bit of the money that I also got a lot of while doing this, because we are a long way through Saturday now. I've also had to hire a lot of new drivers, because I assigned them all, and then I've just been sort of hiring as I need them. But they've all been assigned their routes, so hopefully this will work. I'm quite pleased. It's quite an elegant solution, so thank you for suggesting this. And I think this is a fairly balanced workload. It shouldn't be putting too much pressure on anyone individually, so hopefully we won't have too many routes that need reassigning. I'm just slightly concerned when it comes through to dealing with like these, not these ones, but like the whip, which are like the ones in which we get commission off, because I am constantly getting new notices telling me, well, this one is telling me that they're satisfied with the work, which is nice, but a lot of other ones, they're all telling me, but a lot of other ones which are changing things. So this one is taking an hour off my workload sort of thing, and changing driving intervals, and they will do this every couple of days going through. So there's lots of changes here. So that's the only thing that is slightly bothering me. Anyway, I hope you found that really interesting. It was a nice suggestion and I like it. And in future episodes we will be going forward and seeing if it actually works well. I will keep you posted on how it works in future episodes and how to add new buses in to this system and keeping it going. But until then, I have spent a long time. Like, it's taken me like 3 hours assigning all those buses and making sure that they all link up properly, and going back, checking, making sure I got it right, double checking. Partly because I'm a bit slow. Like, I'm sure if you use a more efficient method of me, maybe write down the number of buses that you need and the number of drivers that you need, you could do it a lot quicker. Or if you don't leave it as late as me and don't have like 20 routes to assign and spend ages scrolling through looking for all the routes that you need to pop in and then ordering them, looking and naming all the drivers. Like, it took a lot, because that's 102 drivers that I have had to give all the initials to and then assign. and it's all of these buses. Was that 5 on each page? So we're looking at 50, 75, 80 buses, I think it is ish. Yeah, 80 buses of renaming and ordering. So that's a lot of work. Top tip, don't leave it that long if this tip works. Anyway, I'll see you again in the next episode. Enjoy the rest of your day. I've now got a lot of editing to do, so I'm going to get cracking with that. But until then, I'll see you in the next episode. Enjoy the rest of your day, enjoy your evening or whatever you're up to. And until the next time, ciao for now.